Okay, am I the only one getting like very anxious waiting for this to begin? Wait, okay, what is going on? Oh my God. Welcome back to the Truth Doctor Show. My name is Dr. Courtney Tracy. I am known as the Truth Doctor. And on this show, I talk about the world through a mental health lens using pop culture and the media as my medium. Today, I am reacting to season 2, episode 7 of Euphoria, the second to last episode of the season. But before we get into that, I want to give you my very brief thoughts on 2 scenes from episode 6. The first one is the scene with Nate and Maddie, where Nate brings the gun and threatens her. Not only does he place the gun to her head, but he also places the gun to his own and pulls the trigger twice. Following that experience, you can see that Maddie is curled up in the bed in the fetal position. That's one of the things I want to talk about. When we are experiencing something extremely traumatic and extremely scary, we can fall into the fetal position because we want to feel safe. And that's the first position that we actually can find ourselves in that gives us some sense of safety and comfort. So I thought that that was really sad. She instantly reverted back to almost the most primal lack of safety position. Like the fact that she wasn't fighting back as much as you would expect somebody to really goes to show just how bonded they really are in a traumatic way. He used his ability to be violent in their relationship and have her not leave, as well as his ability to manipulate her because of how much he loves her, and to use this gun violence, physical assault threat, and physical assault overall to try to get what it is that he wants. So you can see right here that he understands that he is a powerful person in the world, and he doesn't seem to mind the collateral damage that he creates as a result of just how angry he is because of the things that he's been through in his life. On top of that, the other scene is the scene where Nate gives Jules the CD, especially at the end when Nate says that he meant everything that he said when they were talking to each other, and Jules said the same. And there was something that Nate said at the end of that scene where I think Jules asked, like, why are you giving this to me? And he says, like, it's a stupid reason or something like that. And I feel like it has something to do with the fact that he doesn't actually want to be the bad person that he is. He just knows that he's been conditioned over the course of his life. And he's so angry that he loses control and is impulsive at times. Those 2 scenes caught me so off guard and had my mind racing so much that I was literally incapable of saying something about those 2 scenes in the last react. So hopefully this was helpful. If you still have more questions about it, then let me know down below. Maybe I'll answer these questions when I'm doing the character breakdown of Jules or Nate or Maddie in the near future. Before we begin, a content disclaimer. This show is for mature audiences and shows adult content, adult language, and nudity.
Lexi, we're ready.
We are ready, Lexi. We are ready. Okay, am I the only one getting like very anxious waiting for this to begin?
Intensity.
The play! Oh my God, okay, here we go.
The drink.
Oh, that's
Oh
fucking cool.
shit, this is kind of cringe.
Never seen a baby with knockers like yours.
Oh,
Mom, that was the grossest thing I've ever
like
heard
that
you
is
say.
not funny.
Okay.
Okay, she just looks just like Maddie.
Well, she certainly looks the part.
Exactly.
I fall in love.
Because he's giving you attention, because nobody else has, and he's giving you attention for who you are as a
Moment to
person.
myself.
Oh, you're gonna drive? 2 things to talk about in that moment. The first one is it's really clear that Lexi is connected to a different part of reality than Cassie is. Cassie may be fully aware, for example, in this scene with their dad driving them drunk, Cassie may be fully aware that this is an unsafe situation, but she more desires connection and attention. It's a lot more about appeasing the people around her in her environment so that she can feel accepted and loved. And with Lexi, she's connected to this sense of reality that this is really unsafe. So when she's sitting in the back seat, she's not saying anything, that she's crying. I just want to give you insight into what could be happening within her body and within her nervous system. Even though she's not fighting, even though she's not running, even though she's not yelling, her Her nervous system is likely in a state of freeze, which is where she's having all of these emotions rushing through her body and she's in a state of fear or anxiety, but she's not moving. And she's probably dissociating to a degree in her body to allow her to sit there in the back seat of that car, but her emotions are still coming out through her tears. Anxiety has so many levels to it within, and often we can't always see all of those signs of anxiety. We can only see the one or two that are being shown on the outside.
Before Jade got into heavy drugs and before I got inside my head.
Those were great lines.
Do you ever worry as you get older, you'll have less and less memories of Dad? How do you stop that from happening?
You can't.
You can tell stories. When Gia asks Rue how they can stop from time slowing down and eventually erasing memories of their dad, Rue responds with, "You can't." People often say, "Oh, I don't remember my childhood, and so therefore I must have had childhood trauma." But not everybody has had childhood trauma to the point where that would be the reason that they wouldn't remember their childhood. There's a theory called the decaying theory, which just says that memories over time decay because memories are part of our organic brain and organic matter deteriorates over time. The second one is called the interference theory. And this is where just as we are experiencing our lives, the new memories interfere with old memories, and then those old memories become unretrievable as well. But that's what they're battling essentially is time and trauma. If you've been through trauma and you're trying to overcome the fact that your brain may not fully remember memories in the first place, and then if you're trying to overcome time in general from the non-pathological disintegration of memories, then storytelling is really helpful. Take what you do know about those experiences in your past that you want to remember and connect them in a story so that they are sequential, so that they feel as though they're connected and you can tie as many pieces as you can to it together to consolidate that memory. Now, once you have the memories that you want to continue to remember, then just continuing to, again, talk about them and activate them. It really is like back in Psych 101 when we learn use it or lose it. If you do not use the neuronal systems in your brain, then eventually they will decay over time. And that's why we have more neurons when we're born than we do when we die, because the ones that we use become strengthened and the ones that we don't eventually die out. And this is the same thing with memories. So continuing to storytell. And that's why that's been one of the most prolific forms of memory continuation over generations that we've seen even back in the indigenous populations. And they still do that today. It's just storytelling in order to keep people and ideas alive.
You said that memories exist outside of time.
Exactly. Memories exist outside of time. They're both so hurt and miss him. God, just letting these pains out, right? In front of everyone. Jeez, on stage.
But that's also what made it so intoxicating. None of us had any idea what it actually was.
And part of the reason that they didn't have any idea what love actually was, that they didn't see it in their parental figures. They didn't see it in the people around them. And maybe like the love was seen there, but then it got lost. Like with Rue, it seems like their family was happy, but then her dad passed away. And then Cassie's dad left. And we know what's happened between Cal and Marcia, and Jules with her parents as well. Our parents and the way that they define love, show love, discuss love, and respect love play a major role in the way that we see love, explain love, feel love, and hope love to be. Something for us to think about, and I ask my clients this whenever I'm going on a deconditioning journey with them, is to figure out what beliefs do you have and why do you have them? What beliefs do you want to have? Which ones do you have now that were implanted or ingrained within you because of the things that you experienced growing up or in past relationships? Cassie and Lexi, for example, yes, they both had very different experiences and stories in a way of what it is that happened to them when their dad walked away, but they seem to have two very different ideas of what it means to be accepted and loved. It seems like Cassie knows that, and it wasn't really something that she had a choice over too much because of what she did look like as a person with the blonde hair, light eyes, large chest. Like in society today, and the way that they're portraying it in this film is that she was automatically looked upon as a superficial physical body that had things that somebody would want. And on the other end, what we see Lexi explaining in this play is that she didn't necessarily have those outward things considered valued for in terms of her physical appearance. So she has a different idea of what love and respect and connection look like. And I would want to look at both of them and see, because their trauma and the things that they have been through in their life both contributed to their own life story, their own life pathway, and their own desires for attention and connection, but differently.
My whole life, I've always had this feeling that at any moment, something horrible was about to happen.
No, all this foreshadowing about Fez is going to make me cry. Yes, Ashtray sees it. God, he's like taking care of them. God, this is making me so angry. Oh, the flowers.
So,
Oh, she says just what's up? Rue is very good at detaching right away whenever she thinks she's going to experience any emotional pain or any loss. We see that with all the drugs that she does, and we can see that here now, where she just tells herself that they're not supposed to be together and can just easily pass her by.
I don't think I like weed. I just can't control my brain the same way I normally can.
When it comes to what Lexi was saying about why she doesn't like smoking marijuana and why Rue might, that's so valid. There are people who don't want to use drugs and alcohol because they don't want to feel out of control of their body, their brain, or their behavior. And on the other side, sometimes people use drugs and alcohol when they already feel out of control when it comes to their body, their brain, or their behavior. So they would rather not feel out of control and have control over the substances so that they feel like their life is in their hands. And it seems like with Lexi, she's been having to take on the parental figure at a really young age because her mother couldn't take on that figure once their dad left. And so she likes to be in control. She feels like she needs to be in control in order to survive, but she's already in control of her life. So she doesn't want to get out of control. She doesn't want her body, brain, and behavior to be out of her control, because then that's going to bring up those feelings that she's masking already by being codependent and by being the parentified child.
I can't convince you that your life is important.
That is true.
You're going to have to make that decision on your own.
Nobody can convince you that your life is important. They can tell you over and over and over again, but if you don't believe it, then to you, it won't be true.
And I know she's not getting any sleep. But if you say she's fine, I'll just take your word for it.
Oh, damn, Leslie. It's really important that they're starting to show what can happen as a residual traumatic effect from the things that Gia has experienced in her childhood. Not only was it also traumatic for Gia to lose her father, but now everything that she's been through since she lost her father is trauma upon trauma upon trauma. Not only that, she feels as though likely that she's grieving the relationship that she could have had with her mother, the relationship that she could have had with Rue, the relationship that she could have had with herself if she felt safe in her home, if Rue wasn't doing the things that she was doing. And these are signs of either substance use or mental health decline. Grades are slipping, getting in trouble, not sleeping. And those are just the three that we heard Leslie say right off the bat. So obviously Gia is experiencing issues, and I would absolutely expect that. And I would expect Rue to think that everything was going fine with Gia, because Rue sees herself and her actions as indication of a problem, and that there can't be any other forms of problems unless they're erratic, chaotic, and just like really intense, which isn't true.
Open the fucking door, Cassie.
Oh, we're back to this.
Open the door and tell me it was worth it. You owe me that.
Look at her. She's still trying to just look like everything is fine. It's still about physical appearances and material looks, even when she's just dying inside.
You can control what I wear, what I eat.
No. Okay, this is like really creepy. Jules? Oh no. He's doing the same thing. Wait, okay, what is going on? that dream that Nate was having. Clearly, he has been confused and hasn't been able to forget when he found those tapes and watched those tapes. When they showed him looking at himself in the mirror and seeing the back of himself, I don't know if this is like what they meant to do by that, but it also looked very similar to the shot of when Cal walked up to seeing Nate looking in the office to like go see if he was going to go look at the discs again or not. Clearly, Nate's understanding of love, of sex, of connection got confused when he was 11, when he found those discs. And the thing is when we experience something or we are exposed to something, which is part of why I do these reacts for you all, exposed to something traumatic or confusing or that really goes against our belief systems or shocks our beliefs already about the world, and then we don't process it, we don't talk about it, then it remains unprocessed within us and can start to attach and connect to different aspects of our lives because we're constantly making decisions based off of that experience, and it holds power because we haven't taken the power back by diving in and taking a look at it. So in season 1, when he's beating up Tyler, who's the guy that he thought slept with Maddie in the pool in the first 2 episodes, when he's beating the shit out of him, he says, "You effing F word," derogatory term for males that are gay. And that just goes to show that he is still so angry at his dad's behaviors that led to being dishonest, distrustful, and unfaithful in his marriage that sort of tore his family to pieces. I think he has identity issues. And actually, what we also saw in season 1 was that Cal ingrained in Nate that he needed to be this masculine man that always looked down upon everybody around him, or else somebody would come and try to take his power away from him. So he's confused as shit about who he is, what he likes in a relationship, who he wants in a partner, and like who he's supposed to be in life overall. And that is honestly really sad. Ooh. Ooh.
You guys are so gay.
You guys are so gay. Come on, help him out. Help him out. Oh my God, I would be so scared if he looked at me like that.
Anything for you.
Oh my God.
Your body's fantastic.
Okay, but this play is so good. I mean, it's good for a play, but this is like so sad at the same time. Oh, this is like deep. Okay, Ethan though? Ethan's killing it. Oh my God. He left her, she's alone again. And now Lexi has all of the applause and Cassie is left alone. Okay, she looks so scary when Nate says, like, basically what's wrong with Lexi making that part in the play, that shit's so homophobic. That's very interesting. And that's something that I think we need to pay attention to. Either, and of course could be a million things because this is a TV show, but either he felt personally embarrassed because he has confusion with his own sexuality, or he could be feeling like as much as he dislikes Cal, he may have just felt like he knows that that's the truth of who his dad is as a person within. And he felt like that was also just damaging Cal's masculinity or the masculinity between both of them, because Nate in a way gained his masculinity from Cal, which we saw in season 1 with all the things that Cal said to Nate about how he had to be strong and he had to be a hero. And it's probably why they chose that type of song in the play or in the show to sort of emphasize that. The fact that Fez never left his house in this whole episode makes me feel like shit's really going to go down in the last episode. And I'm just so sad about it. And I'm so nervous. Okay, wait and see what happens. What questions do you have about this episode, episode 7? Please let me know down in the comments below and I will answer them as much as I can. Hopefully I didn't miss out on any scenes that you all wanted me to react to today. And special surprise to everybody that made it all the way through to the end of this reaction video. I am going live after the finale next week of Euphoria, and I will be going live on Tuesday, March 8th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we've already set a live that you can go and set a reminder for. We're going to be talking about all of the themes, all of the characters, and how they progress throughout the episodes, how we anticipate the following season is going to start. And I can do a little bit of a character analysis since I probably will have been done with season 1 and the 2 special episodes, which I did watch before, but I'm rewatching through the lens of a therapist, not just through the lens of a watcher. And we can kind of talk a little bit about who these people are. What do they represent in the world in terms of how we can act as human beings with one another, with ourselves, and how we can tell the story of who we are, what we love, and what we want. As always, I am glad that you exist, and I hope to see you next Tuesday.